أهلا وسهلا. Welcome back to Learn Arabic. كيف حالكم؟ أرجو أن تكونوا بخير. أود أن أرحب بكم جميعا في هذا الدرس الجديد. Which means I would like to welcome all of you to this new lesson. We are still talking about the Arabic letters and sounds, and the focus today is on the couple ha and ha. Before analyzing these two letters, let's begin with a quick recapitulation of the letter Hamza. So, the letter Hamza. Hamza is nothing but a glottal stop, and it comes from the farthest part of the throat where your vocal cords are. In order to find the correct makhraj, i.e. point of articulation, all you'll have to do is to put your fingers on your neck and swallow. You'll feel that something moves up and down, and that is your larynx. And that's exactly where your vocal cords are and where the letter Hamza should generate. That's on one hand. On the other hand, we also said that when pronouncing the letter Hamza, there is a strong collision between the two vocal cords and that breath is imprisoned. Our example was ya, ya. One more time. Ya. So, as you can see, this Hamza is sakina, i.e. in conjunction with sukoon, and we all know that the pronunciation of any given letter in Arabic varies according to the diacritic it is in conjunction with. So what would be the case for Hamza with fatha, kasra, and dhamma? Shall we see? By the way, I was on the verge of forgetting to tell you that this part is completely new. So can you please pay extra attention? Thank you. When we pronounce any given letter as sakina, i.e. in its state of sukoon, it enhances the attributes of the letter, also known as sifat in Arabic. Therefore, when the letter Hamza is in conjunction with sukoon, the collision between the vocal cords will be at its peak. For better understanding, let's practice. And this time we will have complete sentences instead of syllables or words, in order to help you build up your vocabulary. You can also check our second channel, which is solely dedicated to that purpose. The link is on the screen. Right. So this is our sentence. آدم يأكل. آدم يأكل. One more time. آدم يأكل. آدم يأكل. You can easily hear the sound of the glottal stop, isn't it? I'm going to repeat the verb only this time. يأكل. Again. يأكل. Now, in order to feel the difference that the short vowels make, let's take a look at these examples. أخذت كتابي. إيمان جميلة. أختي كريمة. Again. أخذت كتابي. إيمان جميلة. أختي كريمة. Again. أخذت كتابي. إيمان جميلة. أختي كريمة. I think that the difference is quite noticeable. Unless you have a very keen ear, you won't hear the collision between the vocal cords, and the letters a, I, U will sound more like the usual sounds that we hear all the time in English, like apple, ear, and over. So, to sum up, the letter Hamza with sukun is produced by complete and sudden closure of the vocal cords followed by a quick release of sound. However, الهمزة المتحركة, i.e. Hamza with فتحة, كسرة, or ضمة, is produced by, I would say, a gentle closure of the vocal cords followed by a slow parting of these two. That's it for the letter Hamza. Now let's move on to the letter Ha. And actually, even though we are moving to another letter, we won't physically budge. The reason why, the letters Hamza and Ha are housemates. In other words, they share the same point of articulation. So, as a deduction, we will say that the letter Ha also comes from the furthest part of the throat where the vocal cords are. Now, if the letters Hamza and Ha have the same point of articulation, what makes these two letters sound that different? Well, if two letters share the same point of articulation, their characteristics come into play to tell them apart. Fear not, we are not going to overcomplicate things. As I said, this is not a tajweed course, so no need to feel the pressure. Let's get back to the matter at hand. As previously mentioned, when we pronounce any given letter in its state of sukoon, it enhances its attributes. And this is exactly what we are going to do with the letter Ha. Listen up, please. Ah. Ah. Again. Ah. Ah. I hope that you can easily hear the continuation of sound. And this continuation of sound is very important while pronouncing the letter Ha with sukoon. Also, kindly note that there is a continuation of breath. Ah. 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 And make sure that the sound don't disappear while doing that. Otherwise, it will be nothing but an airflow. The tongue has nothing to do with the pronunciation here. It will remain at the bottom of the mouth. Make sure to also lower the back of the tongue because Ha is a light letter. So again, please put your fingers on your neck and swallow. You will feel that something moves up and down, and that is your larynx. And that's exactly where the letter Ha generates. Don't remove your fingers, please. Now, if we say Ah, again, Ah, I want you to feel this time that unlike the letter Hamza, the larynx does not move upwards while pronouncing the letter Ha. Also, for the letter Ha, breath flows forcefully despite the restriction of the air passage due to the movement of the vocal cords towards each other while pronouncing the letter Ha. Be careful, they only get closer, no collision. Ah. Ah. I cannot stress enough that there is no collision. As a result of this constriction, a vibration can easily be detected at the larynx. This vibration is due to the friction of the forceful airflow with the two vocal cords which got really close to each other and restricted the surface in which the air flows to less than a half. And last but not least, if you listen carefully, Ah. Ah. You'll feel that I'm making an effort to pronounce the letter Ha, and it is absolutely normal. since a certain amount of effort is required in order to pronounce this letter, even for native speakers like myself. And this attribute is called ismat. I'm just saying it for the record. Now, just like we did with the letter Hamza, let's practice the letter Ha. Starting with the state of rest, and at this stage we all know that the attributes of the letter are going to be more striking. Listen up, please. فهد فهد. Make sure to go to the correct point of articulation and don't pronounce it like a regular H. Even if it is harder, trust me, it is worth it, since it will automatically soothe the path not only for mastering the letter Ha, but also for mastering the letter Ha as well. Right. So when we say فهد فهد, there is a continuation of sound and also of breath. The tongue remains away from the top of the mouth, not to mention that the back of the tongue don't rise as well. We can easily detect a vibration at the level of the vocal cords, and last but not least, a certain amount of effort is required in order to pronounce this letter. Okay, if we move on to the short vowels, all of these attributes just mentioned won't be as remarkable. In order for you to feel the difference, let's keep the same example and make a nominal sentence out of it by adding another word with the letter Ha. Listen carefully, please. هذا فهد هذا فهد. We didn't study the demonstrative pronouns nor the nominal sentence yet, but all we care about is the letter Ha. For the letter Ha with fatha, i.e. Ha maftuha, we don't get that throaty sound produced by squeezing the vocal cords. It's definitely still there, but not as noticeable as in Ha with sukoon. Also, the air doesn't flow as forcefully. You can basically relax and say it quite normally with a tiny bit more emphasis on getting the right point of articulation and getting the vocal cords close to each other. And all of this also goes for Ha with kasra and dhamma. And these are our examples. هي جميلة هو وسيم. One more time. هي جميلة هو وسيم. Again. هي هو. That's about it. We still have to do the same process with the letter Ha before ending this lesson. And this time we are going to change the articulation point. In fact, the letter Ha comes from the middle of the throat. So we are moving slightly up. And this is a crucial factor in mastering the pronunciation of the letter Ha. Okay, so right now I'm pointing at the epiglottis, and Ha is pronounced by the movement of the epiglottis towards the back wall of the throat. So again, the epiglottis has to move backwards while pronouncing the letter Ha. However, and this is another crucial hint, the epiglottis will not move all the way back towards the back wall of the throat. Just a little bit, please. I cannot stress this enough. Considering that the epiglottis moves slightly back towards the back wall of the throat, listen carefully and then copy after me, please. Ah. Ah. And make sure to pronounce the letter Ha from the middle of the throat. Ah. Ah. Right. At this stage, we can easily say that the most important difference so far between Ha and Ha is the point of articulation known as al-makhraj. ha comes from the middle of the throat, whereas ha comes from the furthest part of the throat where the vocal cords are. It is also essential to point out that there is a continuation of breath and sound while pronouncing the letter ha. Ah. One more time. Ah. Ah. So for ha, breath flows despite the fact that the throat gets slightly constricted by the movement of the epiglottis. Also note that unlike the letter ha with sukun, there is no vibration in the letter ha as-sakina because the vocal cords don't get close to each other while pronouncing this letter. And one more tip. Make sure that the mouth remains open and also to lower the back of your tongue. Right, let's wrap up today's lesson with a couple of examples, starting with ha in conjunction with sukun. هذا صحن. One more time. هذا صحن. As you can hear, when I say صحن, صحن, all the attributes of the letter ha can easily be detected. First of all, it is a light letter, which means that the mouth will remain open and that the back of the tongue will not touch the top of the mouth. And even though the epiglottis moves slightly towards the back wall of the throat, this restriction will not prevent the breath from flowing. Hence, there will be a continuation of breath accompanied by a continuation of sound. Last but not least, just like the letters Hamza and ha, ha is also pronounced with a certain amount of effort. Now, if we move on to the short vowels, all of these attributes just mentioned are going to become slightly less preponderant. I'm going to read the 3 examples at one go. هذه حديقة. هذا حصان. التمساح مخيف. Again. هذه حديقة. هذا حصان. التمساح مخيف. And there you have it. I was about ending this lesson, but a little bird told me that you want to hear the letter ha with the short vowels separately. So just to please you, ha, hi, hu. Ha, hi, hu. Ha, hi, hu. And you know what? Let's do it also with the letter ha. Ha, hi, hu. Ha, hi, hu. Ha, hi, hu. Let's go the extra mile with the side-by-side comparison between the two. Ha, ha, hi, hi, hu, hu. One more time. Ha, ha, hi, hi, hu, hu. That's it. Well done, everyone. I hope that this lesson will put a happy ending to all the stereotypes surrounding the letter ha, and why not revive your passion for the Arabic language. شكرا على حسن استماعكم ومع السلامة.